this week. So we just covered the faculty senate, board of governors, property taxes. Hey, did we go over Rush Limbaugh the other day?
Yeah, we did go over Rush Limbaugh.
All right, so that was out of the way. What? Let me see what else we have.
Another thing that we're talking at the meeting was that, well, I don't know if you've been hearing about what happened in New York with financial aid. Financial aid officers sitting at the board of lenders. So now every university has a list of preferred lenders, and when a student applies for financial aid, they refer them to that list. So they're questioning how do they decide who goes, what are the standards to see who goes, what lender makes it to the preferred list. And they're making sure that financial aid employees are not getting presents, gifts, trips paid by these lenders. And they're actually picking the lenders by the lowest rates to help students. So they're trying to pass this code of ethics to so that financial aid doesn't get involved with lenders. But they were kind of skeptical about this because they were saying that most students who borrow money, I think they were saying the average loan is $23,000, and that's way above tuition rates. So they're saying that students actually they're borrowing because they want to live better, not because they need money to pay tuition. So they shouldn't get involved in.
Well, in the long run, they're the ones who are going to be affected. I mean, if you're borrowing, if you're coming to, for example, Florida International University, and you're paying, say, I don't know, $10,000 a year, for tuition and in dorm, I guess, and then you take out a $25,000 loan. Come on. You're going to be paying that over your life. God knows what percentage. You're only going to be affected in the long run. But, however, some people just decide to do that. Is it a smart move, Chris?
I mean, fiscally, depends on what you expect your future salary to be. Like, I see people en masse, $200,000, $300,000 of debt. But I look at what they're doing and I say, well, that's well worth it. And at the same time, somebody who comes to FIU, depending on what field they're in, it might be reasonable for them. Maybe they won't perform well in school unless they feel like they have a comfortable lifestyle. I'm exactly that way. So my main concern really is the fact that we do have subsidized loans for colleges which are abused for this purpose, for improving one's lifestyle. The government is footing a large percentage of the interest on these loans, to give people, let's say 5-6%, so to reduce it from, let's say 14%, especially the large loans. So I guess my main problem is that once you incorporate the government subsidized loans, you will have people who are going to try to ride on the system. People who are going to need 10,000 but apply for 25 or 30.
So a lot of more free riders.
But don't you think the university should put some limits, or at least advise students better? Because it's not, we're all independent, but I don't think it's very responsible to take out such a large amount of money just to spend and then get out of school.
Well, if it's an investment purpose in the long run, it might help them out if they make a correct investment, if they're able to profit from it.
Well, no, not only that. They can take the loan, and it's at their own risk, and so long as it's being paid back, there's really no concern with what they used it for. So I may end up having a higher debt burden in the long run, but as long as I pay it back, it's not neither the university's nor the lender's business.
At 43 minutes past 11 a.m., you're listening to FIU's News Talk and Roundtable Discussion. Thanks to our guest came earlier today, Director of Public Safety, Mr. Bill King. And we're currently discussing what's going on in the headlines this week. You can join us by phone by calling 305-348-3575. That's 305-348-3575. It's Open Phones Friday. Whatever comments or topics you want to talk about. And if you want to talk about anything related to FIU, you can also email us at wrgpnews@gmail.com. That's wrgpnews@gmail.com. And also in the headlines this week, Hamas fighters stormed Palestine, and President Mahmoud Abbas, he's calling for international help. Certainly looks like it's not helping out the situation in the Middle East, and the United States. I guess we'll see what measures they're going to take on that. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not.
Well, that's. It's not really surprising to me because it's almost like cyclical. Like, every now and then, there'll be like a surge in some sort of violence in the Middle East or some sort of, unrest. So in this case, it just happened to be in Palestine. And, and just, a couple of weeks ago, and it's still going on now, it occurred in Lebanon too, with a group of fighters who started, I guess, firing on the Lebanese army from a refugee camp. So
it's just an ongoing violence.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is nothing unusual, but it could be the start of something worse unless action is taken. And that's always been the case, that whenever, like the Intifada in Israel in 2001 or 2002, or around the year 2000, that became a problem, but, it was settled because a bunch of measures were taken against it. But if it hadn't been settled, we would have been in trouble.
So you think that Hamas, even though being measured by the international community as a terrorist group, proclaiming their rule in Gaza and controlling it now, or seizing control through these fighters, is going to cause more problems in the foreign policy of the U.S. and Britain and other Western countries?
The thing is, as I said before, I'm not really surprised, and I think things similar to this have happened before. So I think that the world generally is going to unilaterally, at least the world, like G8, let's say, is going to unilaterally stand against Hamas taking control of Gaza. So I don't really think it's going to be such an interference in our foreign policy. Now, if something worse were to happen, let's say Israel, invaded Gaza again, or something more violent happened, like Israel invaded Lebanon again, then we might start to see some bigger problems blooming.
What about the argument that some claimed, at least in some news outlets the past couple of days, that there's a possibility that Iran might be funding some of these militias? Do you think that's going to affect our foreign policy to this more?
Oh, of course. I don't know. I don't really see how this is a surprise either. This has been kind of obvious for a while that Iran has been supporting Hezbollah in Lebanon, which is, enemy number one for the United States and Israel, and they have been supporting, I suspect, Hamas and several other terrorist organizations. And definitely, as the amount of Iranian aid to terrorist groups gains publicity, that will be used by the U.S. government to, increase public sentiment for war with Iran.
So it looks like there's another topic that Congress might be discussing over, apart from its immigration bill, that's going to be revived next week. I'm sure that Middle East security, and I'm sure that this Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is certainly concerned about these Hamas takeover the Gaza Strip. So also other news, current news of this week. Even though we did air that piece by reporter Nicola Costa, BBC celebrated its 30th anniversary with a big party. It had American Idol Nadia Turner singing "Happy Birthday." You remember that? Do you remember hearing?
Yes, I do. I remember it.
Wait, I don't think Maria heard it.
No, I don't think she did.
Where is it at?
No.
Oh, whatever. I'll find it. So that was it. 30th anniversary for Biscayne Bay campus. And certainly a big celebration out there. Maybe we have a bigger celebration for our 40th anniversary. Who knows?
When is it?
In another 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
What about University Park? I mean, I haven't been to any parties
5 years.
here.
Well, if you're around in another 5 years, you'll be around for the 40th anniversary.
Oh, nice. I guess I'll swing by when I'm in my spiffy limousine.
Where are you going in your limousine?
Oh, I'm saying I'll swing by the party in my limousine because, by then I'll be loaded.
Oh,
and
is
you're
that
going to
right?
sing Happy Birthday?
And I'll sing, yes, Happy Birthday